Welcome back to Bot Bros, where we separate the help from the hype when it comes to all the AI news coming on for marketers. I'm Dan Sanchez, and I'm joined by my brother, Travis Sanchez.
Hey.
And this is a segment of the AI-driven marketer, and we're about to get into it, starting with the state of AI video. Lots of advancements are kind of happening and trickling out over the weeks. And Travis, you've been on a mission to figure out, like, where are we, man?
Yeah, I have, as I was in the video world for a while, loved flying drones, putting, collaborative pieces together, whether for promotion or storytelling. You're kind of like, man, this AI video thing can really take off. And as you started seeing Sora come out, these little video clips where it started getting good, at least from anything we've seen before. So I was on a mission to figure out early on, how good can a video get from just prompt text to a video? And the first findings about a year ago were rough, like really rough. I could barely find anything that was at that level. To be honest, I thought we'd be further along a year later with prompt. I even sent a video to Dan saying, "Hey, this is a video. It was a minute long. They created a video with music, they wrote the script. I gave them a direction, and they had B-roll, and it wasn't great. Let's just put it that way. It was terrible, but it pulled a lot of elements in together. It was actually 60 seconds. Hit the timing. It had a script, wrote it itself from a decent place. It had transcription, so it had literal captions going on it. That was a win. It had music.
Tell them what the video was about, because then we can give the context on why it was not good.
Well, yeah. So I did it for my church. I was like, oh yeah, give it. Say
like a little promo video for the church. They never have enough resources.
Yeah. How much is the product? It's like, well, it's a free product. You come, find community, worship, do all this stuff. And it had like Christmas music playing as a choice.
That got me. I'm like, is that Christmas music playing in the background? This isn't a Christmas production. This is just a normal, hey, come to church.
It only had one, for a full minute video, it only had one piece of B-roll that was like, okay, that's decent. It was like,
that was a fit for what it was saying in the script. The script was vanilla, plain, but at least the script was okay.
I mean, it was pretty bad. One time it was just flashing the words Brazil for some reason. Oh. I was like, what is happening?
I mean, yeah, the video, the B-roll match was absolutely outrageous, horrible. Like, but the script, the words being read wasn't horrible. The voice definitely sounded like a robot.
Yes. I would give the script a 5 out of 10. Like, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't great.
Maybe less.
Barely passable. If everything else had been a 5 out of 10, then maybe the video might be usable. But even then, you're like,
it wasn't even close to usable. Anyways, there's a lot of other prompt to video creation. That was actually CapCut's AI prompt to video. What I did find was that it was user-friendly. That was kind of nice. It was very clear what I was supposed to do, what it needed, how easy it was for it to create a video based on my idea. Other ones are a little bit more difficult. They basically want you to write the script, which isn't hard. Obviously, you can just use any AI model to write you a script about something. But if you're trying to just get quick clips or small B-roll pieces and you're using Sora, you're wanting a 4-second, 5-second video, the video quality is getting better. But we're not looking just for short B-roll clip. We're looking for actual prompt to full video. So we're still a long way out unless you've seen anything down. I couldn't find anything that was really giving me that impressive prompt video.
The little clips that we're able to produce are getting better. I sent you a text message just before we started recording of this like video of a cat. It was one of the most realistic pictures I've ever seen. And it wasn't a cat. It was a cat that was made out of crochet yarn. And it looks
Oh,
so
wow.
real because the mouth looks perfect, the eyes look perfect. Yet when you look closely, it's not a real cat because you can tell. It almost looks like it's wearing a perfectly fitted suit
Wow,
of
yeah.
yarn, of crochet, like a suit, but it's not. Otherwise, you would see the costume on it. But it looks so real that if it had not been like it looks, and it looks like it's shot from an iPhone. It looks more
Yeah.
real than what you get out of Hollywood. It's that real looking.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now.
It's
It's
stupid.
incredibly
It's
real.
like it kind of scares me a little bit because of like what's coming with that. I'm like, my gosh, if that can look that real, and it looks, you can tell it's fake because like cats aren't made out of crochet yarn, but it looks like it is.
You know what really speaks to its realness? My brother here and I have grown up with a lot of cats.
Yeah,
Its aggressive like head turn and then like quick mouth movement feels like it's about to attack you when I'm watching the
yeah,
video. I'm like,
yeah.
oh,
The
whoa,
mannerisms of it look like a
whoa.
cat, like a real
It
cat movement.
feels like a pissed off cat. So the fact that they're getting that emotion right is impressive.
I know, out of a yarn cat. Anyway, I'll link to the video in the show notes, and you can see it for yourself. So the little clips that I can make are getting more and more impressive. And I've seen more and more people pulling these clips together with editing on the back end to make impressive things. And we talked about like that commercial that was made last week. That was impressive
Yeah.
for like a shampoo or something
Yeah, it
commercial,
was body wash.
body wash.
Men's
Yeah.
about it, body wash.
So like it's slowly picking up. It's getting more and more useful. Is it something I'm using in marketing a lot? Not really. It's starting to get to the point where once VO actually is accessible, and I can tell you why they're not making it available is it's just cost too much.
Yeah.
We all know the reason why Sora even sucks is it's actually better, but they can't release it
It
without
just yeah.
losing too much money. So as the cost of compute drops, the cost of actually producing these videos will come down too. So maybe it will take a year just from sheer server costs because it costs too much to generate these kinds of videos. We don't even have access to Google's VO2 model, which is the leading one right now. So the state of AI videos, we're still waiting, and that's okay. Honestly, I don't feel like marketers would even use it a lot at first anyway. Moving on to the next element of news
Well,
is Google's.
right before you switch, people were saying that the people that were stuck in space were SpaceX, where they rescued them and landed in water.
Yeah, yeah.
I do think it's funny that everyone knows there's people that believe flat Earth, it's not round, there's not actually astronauts. Someone posted on X yesterday saying, see, they're now using artificial intelligence to fake this landing back into the ocean from these rescued people. And I'm like, well, maybe, but the
It
video's
doesn't really
not.
matter because if you could have done it with I mean, if Hollywood can make the movies it does, they could just say they CGI'd it. It doesn't really
It's
matter.
true. I
It's
was
kind of
like,
like
man,
AI,
people,
CGI. We've been able to make anything our minds could come up with,
they,
whether it took a team of 50 people in CGI offices or one AI generator. It doesn't really
conspiracy
matter.
theorists believe better for AI video than we do, and we're using it. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Well, they're conspiracy theorists. Not that we don't all have our pet conspiracy theories, but
True.
flat Earth ain't one. Speaking of manipulating reality, though, Google's Imagen has been something I've been excited about this week. I'd heard the news and I waited, and I finally got on. And it's kind of hard to find. You have to actually Google Imagen, and it will finally come up on some DeepSeek or not DeepSeek. That's the China thing. Google's DeepMind. How the names are getting confusing with all this stuff. it's
Uh-huh.
on it's on a weird Google URL, but if you find it, it's a really sweet product. It's really easy to use. It's much more intuitive. It's actually the most intuitive image generation tool that I've ever used. And within 5 minutes of playing with it, I was like, oh, I'm canceling Midjourney. And I did. I went over, canceled Midjourney. Now, my subscription renews all the way into December. So I'm like, if that comes back, like I'm on an annual subscription. So I have access to it until December until they do something. But I'm like, until farther notice, like I'm using Google and not Midjourney for all my images that I'm generating with AI. And what's really cool about Google's new thing is that it just sticks better to the prompt. What you ask for it's going to do much better at actually delivering.
Wow.
It's physics, it's fingers, it's all the little tiny nuances. It's way better at generating. And if you're like, oh, but it doesn't have the style that Midjourney has, I'm like, so tell it to give it the style that you are getting in Midjourney. That's
Right.
the first iterations I took of it were like fairly plain looking. And I'm like Midjourney was adding some stylistic elements. So I just told it, like, give it more dramatic lighting and pull the lighting from the background into it to make it feel like a more cohesive image. And it did. And it looks great now. I'm like, oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Did it
It
not get rid of
actually,
the subject at all? Because you know how
can it not?
if you ever try to edit a video or a photo that was created, it would usually change the entire image. You couldn't get it to edit just a single portion.
That's one of the cool things that people are spending a lot more time on is that it has in painting. So where you can select an
Mm,
area and get it to change it however you want. So you can manipulate a specific image. I actually don't know if you can have consistent characters with it. I did see a place in it where you can feed it a seed image. And I don't know if that's like a character thing, like Midjourney. You can have like a specific character you make, and it can replicate that character. I don't know if Google ImageGen can do that, but honestly, I don't know. Like other than the like AI influencer people out there, I don't know anybody using that feature in Midjourney. Most of us marketers are using Midjourney or Dolly or whatever just to make like what we were doing with stock photos, we were doing with AI images.
right.
Whether it's for a YouTube thumbnail or a blog post image or illustrating something or a social graphic, we're using it for really basic things.
Right.
And I don't really see that changing. Eventually, it'd be nice to have like some consistency across it, but like I like for the images for this video, for example, I'll use Google ImageGen. It'll have the TV head 404 character on it doing something based on the main topic we end up talking about. But I just kind of use the same process over and over again. And now that I have that locked in, until I change it, I'll just keep using it. Most marketers use it like that. We have a way that we use it and it fits our process and we map to it. The cool thing is if it was automated. So if like I was sending out an email and it was customizing it based on a few things, I'm like, that'd be kind of interesting, but that's where it's not there yet.
I looked at ImageGen and Google took me to something called ImageFX.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, why are they switching names? It's like, yeah, we have
It's confusing
ImageGen.
as heck. Yeah.
Here, come
Yeah.
to ImageFX. I'm like,
Imagen, image. No, it's, yeah. If you Google ImageGen, I guess it's Imagen. I'm adding extra letters in there. But it's under deepmind.google/technologies/Imagen 3. That's what it is. I was
it
kept
looks
saying
like
ImageGen. I
also
said it
if
wrong.
you just search ImageFX, it will pull it right up.
Yeah. So when you get there, you can generate the images straight from Gemini, or you can say try ImageFX, which is what you're talking about, which is where I've been using it.
I
But the
see.
Imagen is the name for the image model.
I don't really get that, but all right.
Yeah, it's
It's
stupid,
like
but
ChatGPT. There's OpenAI, ChatGPT, and Sora. It's like, okay. Yeah, got it.
it does better with text and image too. But I think the thing that marketers need to be aware of is that this isn't a design tool yet.
Right.
Yes, it's really good at making things, but they get frustrated by the text being wrong. I'm like, so stop using it like a design tool. Yeah, it's convenient. Like if you have something really clear and you just want to put a small title up there, it gets the text more consistently. But I'm like, stop using these image generation tools as design tools. You really don't want to use it like that. You still need to bring it into a Photoshop or a Canva to drop the text in there and do it right and be able to edit it.
Yeah.
These are not editable images. They're flat images that you can't edit and change around and modify too much. Now, of course, it's getting easier because you can in paint, you can kind of like go and paint on whatever section you want and then put another prompt and it'll modify however you ask it to the little section that you highlighted on. And you can do that with text. But that's not how you want to be doing it. As a designer, I'm like, we have not yet landed on something that can do design with AI. Like not even close. Napkin.ai was the closest thing I've seen where it makes diagrams, but it's not even really using AI other than using AI to help you select a template and then injecting the information into it. So I'm like, that's not really AI design either. It's just using AI in a clever way to preload a template, which is fine. And I love it because I use it all the time. But you have to think of these image tools as more of an illustration tool. As a designer, I've
Smart.
spent hours and hours looking through stock photos to try to find just the best image to illustrate the thing that I need to illustrate. And I'm not like an illustrator. I can't just bust out an easel and a canvas and paint something. I can, but I'm not that great at it. Not good enough that I would use my own illustrations in my work. Here, you can illustrate anything. You can illustrate a boring stock photo if you want to, and I see a lot of marketers doing that. Or you can illustrate an oil painting or a watercolor or a sci-fi scene or a synthwave thing or a retro photograph. Whatever your heart's desire is, whatever you need for the project, you can illustrate it, which is the coolest thing. But you still have to drop it into a design program of some kind to drop text. Shoot, did you know with Macs you can actually have that preview tool? Like when you open up a photo on a Mac, it opens up in preview.
Yeah.
There's edit tools on that. I would know because my Adobe, I had to renew my Adobe subscription, and I needed to make a text edit in a pinch. And so I opened it up in preview and actually dropped text on it, and you can even put like white shapes on it. It was easy for memes. You could like drop a white box on the top of a photo and add your caption on top. But I'm like, I don't think people really even realize you have like a mini like design tool right built into your Mac called Preview if you just go and click edit.
Bro, I've been using Preview for like 8 years to do little simple edits like that.
I know, but a
It's
lot of people
nice.
don't know. It's a great little tool in the pinch.
You can add your signature to PDF files. You can edit things. You can take the background off of things.
Really? I didn't even know that one.
Yeah. I used to take backgrounds off of logos just with Preview all the time because it was fast and convenient.
Well, that's cool. I haven't even tried that application. I usually just Google background remover from some web tool that can do it, which is plenty of those.
It only does it really well with flat surfaces. It doesn't do it with like textured surfaces. So you do have to.
It has to be consistent.
Yeah.
And the third piece of news we have for you today is I've started seeing a trend on X of people talking about the woes of AI code because, you know, everyone, the thing people have been talking about over the last month or so is vibe coding, which means they're just coding with these AI code tools. And even marketers have started getting in the game of like building little mini applications. So I think a lot of people are thinking like, oh, I need to start doing that. I need to start coding applications. Even marketers, especially my like solopreneur marketers out there, you're like, man, what could I be building right now? A lot of news has come out because I've even felt a lot of FOMO about it. Like, oh, I need to start developing some applications with Cursor and make something. Like I'm behind. I started feeling behind on it because so many people are talking about it. But then it started coming out on X this last week that these applications that they're working and people are even charging subscriptions for them are getting hacked like right and left.
Oh no.
Because what they fail to account for is that what professional developers know is that there's a way to do it and there's an easy way to do it, then there's the right way to do it. And AI is lazy. It will do the easiest way to accomplish the objective, as we all do. But if you don't know, you need to rotate your IP address or your whatever the heck. I don't even know what the standards are, but there's a bunch of different standards developers use to build legitimate apps to keep people from hacking them. And I mean, I haven't developed code, but I've developed websites. And then you get hacked a few times. You were actually with me the first time this happened, but my personal website got hacked by some like jihadist over in the Middle East somewhere. He was writing all over my website, like if he was on like a holy war and took out my website.
Yeah,
I was like, what is going on? But he hacked my website. I had to put it back up, and then it got hacked again. And then I started really figuring out how to keep it from happening. Well, like it's even more complicated when you're writing all the code from scratch, like how you keep sites from being hacked. But a lot of these people, maybe it's just a few trending people talking about like, I'm just going to stop doing this on Cursor and actually like rebuild it on a no code tool like Bubble or something that's just more secure. Because obviously if you start building something substantial, you put a lot of time into it, marketing it, selling it, you have customers, you only get one reputation. So you don't want to be known as the one who's got a really hacky or a website that's always down because it's being hacked, or a tool and data and privacy, and there's all kinds of problems with it. So that was kind of some interesting news. It's certainly telling me that the hype around AI code is a lot of hype. I think a lot of developers are getting a lot of use out of AI code, just like writers, right? Like if you're making content, then like of course like AI speeds it up, but you still have to know kind of what you need to get out there in order to validate it
Right.
before you send it out. Have you seen anybody developing the apps lately?
No, I didn't even know about Cursor.
Oh yeah,
This
it's a
is
whole thing. I keep hearing about it in the AI news
wow.
world.
Wow. No, I'm messing with that Imagen, whatever you're calling it.
We
I think
suck
it's
at
supposed
names
to
in AI.
Imagine. It's like a play on. It's like a different spelling. Imagine, get it? But image. It's really good. Like the quality of the images, even people, it's really nailing. So here we are, moving forward.
That's probably been the most useful AI update in the last couple of weeks, since
Yeah.
probably the most useful one that I've heard of since deep research from ChatGPT came out to Plus from a couple of weeks ago, which was incredibly. I use it all. I use deep research more and more often now. It's so good, even for little things. Eventually, my ChatGPT Pro account will run out, and I'll have to slow down on those. But it is really cool. But this Google's new image tool is by far the most useful thing that's out there. That I'm like, okay, this is. We're all starting to dabble and use these things, but Google's new version of it is absolutely worthwhile. You should check it out. Google it, play with it. It's free if you're using Google. I don't even know. You don't pay for Google, right?
No, I just have a Gmail account and
Okay,
it's
and you're able to
got me
use it.
hooked up.
So
Yep.
it's a free tool out there. You don't need anything. You don't have to be a Google customer at all, because I pay for Google's workspace or whatever. So I
Uh-huh.
didn't know if it was free. All right. I got no poll this week, but I got two viral posts to talk about. Let me read the first one from LinkedIn, which I literally just discovered. And I thought it was I thought it was interesting about the ethics, and it has less to do with marketing, more to do with job applications, but it's going to open up a conversation about like the ethics of AI. So let's talk about it. So this one's from Katie Dolgen. Says, I have to say, WTF. I've seen a growing trend in AI generated content in resumes and cover letters, and here's my take. If I can tell it's written by ChatGPT or any AI, I immediately reject it. Why? Because authenticity matters than perfection. Your unique voice is what sets you apart. People connect with real experiences, real insights, real perspectives, not a polished and generic AI response. Perfectly worded but soulless content won't get you far. Take the time to craft your own message, even if it's not flawless. AI is only a tool, not the job search solution. Imperfections make you human, relatable, and real. Would love to hear your thoughts. Do you feel the same way about AI generated content? And she's talking about it from a HR perspective. What's your reaction to
Interesting.
her post?
Interesting. Okay, this is going to be
Give it to me, bro.
it's a little hot take. Most people that are hiring other people, if they're in the age range of Xers or boomers, they won't have a single idea if it's ChatGPT writing those cover letters. They won't have a clue. They will look at that and go, wow, this person is intelligent. I will hire them. If you are in millennial or younger, even I think half of millennials will not know that it's ChatGPT. Katie, I don't know how old she is.
She looks like a millennial. Let me see. You open it up. Hold on. Nope, not a
Nope.
millennial.
Nope. So I'm
X.
impressed that she is able to. Well, but the reason she can pick it up is because she has AI in her title, so she's clearly able to understand when it's ChatGPT and not authentic writing from somebody. So I've heard that Gen Z can spot AI writing like that. They read it and they go, "This isn't a real email from somebody," which I think is interesting. So I'm kind of like, well, depending on my audience, and the other thing I'll say, every time I write an email of length, I will tell ChatGPT to write it more casual. No, more casual, so that it sounds more authentically me. Uh, because I don't write like that, I don't talk like that, and I'll dumb it down because it's just not in my wheelhouse to be able to write that professional of an email. I do it all the time. More casual is probably the prompt I use the most on just about everything. More casual.
her her post kind of got me, which is why I'm even bringing it up, because it brings up this ethical thing. I was like, is it inauthentic to use AI? And I'm like,
Mm.
it, it can be, but let's be honest. We're talking about a hiring process. Were we authentic before AI? Maybe. Maybe we weren't. How many people have written cover letters where you're like, oh, I'd love to work for your company, and not really? Like, you didn't know about the company until you saw the job application. I'm like, what does AI have to do with authenticity sometimes? You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Yeah.
like, my gosh, there was a few things where I just got mad. I'm like, we want imperfection. I'm like, no, you don't. That's such a lie. I'm like,
It is a
really?
lie.
You want imperfection? Oh, it shows the humanness. I'm like, no, you trust me. You're gonna knock me for using the wrong there. Okay, you will. You just will, and rightly so. I don't know. And part of me is kind of like, oh yeah, because the HR hiring process is so soulful, like that's
Yeah.
so humane. The way HR vets people and doesn't communicate with them and just never and ghosts them and never follows up with them. I'm like, right, right, yeah, we're totally gonna stop using AI to fill out your stupid job application, even though we could have just submitted our LinkedIn resume, or did submit their LinkedIn resume and somehow still had to upload a PDF and fill out your like 39 question application. That's really feel the humanness in that.
Yeah.
So part of me is just coming at it from like a cynical standpoint. I honestly don't feel like AI is what makes it inauthentic or authentic, because most cover letters were inauthentic already. AI is just making it faster for you to get a lot more applications out there, and it
Right.
just is what it is. Welcome to the new normal. People writing ChatGPT cover letters, they're using templates or just making up stuff before. They're going to do that more and faster. You want more applicants, you're going to get it, and they're going to be using AI. Luckily, hopefully their experience is not made up by ChatGPT, but they could have
Uh-huh.
lied before. So it's like, well, also they're using AI tools in HR to vet more applications. So I'm like, come on. We're both using AI. Let's just call it what it is. Like, we use AI now. This is the thing. Is it
Uh-huh.
unethical? I don't see it. Marketers are using it. I'm using it. It's just going to be the future. How do you feel
Dude,
about my take?
I love your take, but I feel like someone hurt you and I'm so sorry.
Dude, I get ragged on for being for AI ness sometimes. Actually, I probably only have like, they don't listen to the show, but on LinkedIn, I probably have a 3, 4, 5 people that come and visit me often. We're kind of friends now. I need to have
uh
them on the show. We were like,
Also responding to your thought, the world in general does not want you to be yourself. They want you to be what they need you to be. And I've even dealt with this personally. Like, people are like, "Hey, how's your heart?" And it's like, "Well, it's kind of, there's a lot going on." And they're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" I mean, I didn't ask for like the whole pie. Like, just I wanted the top sprinkles. And I'm like, "Oh, you didn't actually want to see who I was or how I'm doing. You just wanted what you wanted, which was a, yeah,
social
I'm doing,
nicety thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
uh-huh." I was like, "Oh, my bad." So that's kind of what it feels like. She's like, "No, we want authenticity. We are I can't say that word right now. We want an authentic person to write in, to submit. We want to see the tears. We want to see the realness, the rawness, the person." And like you said, no, they don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
This,
So did you
I don't
respond
know.
to her post like that and tell her, no, you don't?
No. This was truly a viral post. So, and I think another person did. I saw earlier, but I can't find it now. But enough other people are like, "Yo, you're using AI to judge all these applications that are authentic, right?" Like, that's like, there's just no way you can get. I mean, because it's true. If you get 500 applications, dude, you're not going to read them all. You
No,
can't. You got to
no.
filter them. What are you going to
Right.
do? So, plus, we all know like the real way to get a job isn't sending an application in anyway.
That's
Like,
true.
that hardly ever works. You got to know somebody. So start a podcast, start interviewing
Or you
people.
have to be so overly qualified on paper where they're like, is this person legit? And then they,
Nah, those people get cast out too. You have to just have just the right mix and just be slightly overqualified. But if you're too overqualified and have like a PhD, that's like a red flag for most people. Yeah, you have to be perfect. But generally, that doesn't work either. So you have to just know somebody or have a different way in. The back door is always the way in.
Yeah.
So stop trying to go through the front door. That's the real moral of the story. Don't go through the front door. The back door is always the way in. So that was one viral post, and I didn't even comment because, again, it's got like 380 comments. So
Wow.
enough people have commented that I'm like, Katie can't keep up with all the things. So I'm just going to let that one go.
Yeah.
On another note, Sean, I forget how to pronounce his last name. Puri, Sean. I forgot. I should know because he's like a super famous marketer now. As he runs the My First Million podcast.
Oh yeah, I do know him.
Which is a fantastic podcast. I listen to it all the time. They find different stuff or really, really interesting things to talk about there. But he posted on X, he's like, my new 1-minute blog, will AI replace your job? Which I thought was really relevant. He didn't even specify marketing, but obviously it's going to hit marketing. It's going to hit everybody. So he's like, the AI K-shaped economy. And I thought this really interesting little infographic. And he's got like, look, you're either in your job skills will either some of your 20% of your job skills will become 10x more productive when enhanced by AI. Okay. 80% of your current job skills, like the stuff you do every day, will plummet to zero value because it's going to be replaced by AI. You have a choice. Either get replaced by AI or learn how to use it and become 10x more productive. So how exactly do you do this? Stop thinking of your job as one big thing. Instead of think of your job as a bundle of tasks. For example, if you're a sales rep, your job is a bundle of tasks: prospecting potential customers, drafting cold emails, tracking response rates, scheduling calls, doing calls, writing notes during the call, follow-up emails, drafting proposals, updating your CRM, etc. How many of these tasks can AI do today? Maybe only 2 to 3 out of the 20 can be significantly boosted with AI, but AI is improving fast. Soon, 50% of your job tasks will be AI driven. Write this down. In the future, being able to manage robots will be more valuable than managing humans.
Wow.
GPT is the new MBA. Uncle Sean. From Uncle Sean. And I'm like, he's not wrong. This is kind of where I'm at. Like, either like whether a bunch of jobs get let go all at once or over time, either way, like the future of most jobs, just like you can't do a job today without using a computer.
100%.
Like, bless her heart, our mom struggles with computers and therefore struggles to hold down any particular job that requires a computer. There's certain jobs that don't require a computer, and those are the ones she can do. But it's becoming fewer and fewer. AI will be the same way. like if you don't get in the game and start figuring out how to do this AI thing, like there's just going to be fewer and fewer jobs available where you aren't required to learn how to use it. Right. And if you get behind, it's like, well, people are going to be, I don't really find that like AI will be the thing. Like people will be looking for like outputs. Like some people have even said like I want to hire a person with an AI agent team. And I'm like, or you just want to hire someone that could do the work faster, better. I don't think you care how many AI agents they have, whether it's 50 or 5. Does it really matter? How do you feel?
I was speaking with my graphic designer yesterday and kind of showed her the prompt that you created for 404 and how good it was. And she got real sad. She's like, that's my job. And I want to meet with her today and say, listen, you can embrace this thing to where what used to take you hours to create, you could have 18 different mock-ups, pick the one that's closest, and then start really making it into what you want. You just saved 2 hours and you're able to finish the projects that took 5 weeks into 3 days if you know how to utilize what AI is able to bring to the design world. Luckily for her, it hasn't, not luckily for her, it hasn't quite, peaked into the design space like we were talking about earlier. Great for illustration, not great for design yet. So once it reaches that space, so I want to tell her, hey, embrace this as hard as you can. Start using generative fill as quickly as you can so you start getting a feel for it. So when it does, because it will make its way into design and it will be great. Like she'll already be ahead of the game. So yeah, if you don't start embracing it, you will fall behind like our sweet, sweet poor mother fell behind with computers. And it's to be expected though. there's going to be a lot of people that just do fall behind.
It's funny when I think of a graphic designer, there's so many different interesting paths you could take as a designer. I feel like because of AI, designers can be like superpowers now because
Right.
I always thought this as a designer. I'm like, I could never be a great designer because great designers aren't just designers. They are also have another superpower with them. The best, I mean like top tier designers, A++ designers almost always are also amazing photographers
Interesting.
because they don't have to rely on stock images. It sets their designs apart because they can combine it with another skill. Or more likely, they're also freaking amazing illustrators. They can come up with custom work that isn't stock anything. They can draw it, sketch it out on paper, and then bring it into Illustrator and not live trace it. They just literally hand create it, and they're coming up
Wow.
with these illustrations. I think of like Ty Matson, matsonCreative.com. Look at his stuff. It's almost all illustration. It's
Wow.
almost all custom illustrated stuff, which is why like people now just hire him to come up with like the artwork that comes on the back of like, a deck of cards. Like if you've seen like the Star Wars deck of cards, like he designed them. Like cuz
Wow.
he's less of a designer now, more of an illustrator because he's become so famous. But good designers are essentially illustrators. I didn't have this skill because I didn't go to art school. I didn't hone my
Right.
drawing
Right.
skills. I knew it a little bit, but it's like I'm just doing what most designers do, manipulating the resources, which is the typography, the stock photos,
Uh-huh.
and the
Uh-huh.
other templates that I can find, and then mix it with the right colors to get the vibe. Now with these tools, world's your oyster, man. You can come up with whatever illustrations you need. I can spec out 50 logos. They're not all perfect, but dang, I can sit down with and live with the client and be like, what's your direction? I'm thinking this direction. But the real
Uh-huh.
skill that I'm actually doing is providing them guidance, which is I think is where designers will go. They'll be better at actually curating like the look and feel that's going to attract the audience better
Okay,
than what
story
anybody else
brand.
could do.
Just
Huh?
guiding them onto their marketing victories. Story brand, and you're like,
Ah, I see.
you're not the hero, you're the
You're
guide.
the guide. Yeah.
Yeah.
But designers will be essentially tastemakers that can help them figure out how to create something actually that looks good and attracts the right people for the right reasons, which
Uh-huh.
that's hard. AI won't be able to do that very well soon. That'll take a little while for it to catch up. Eventually, it'll just be like, hey, design something that will stand out. But even then, like if everybody has the ability to do that, standing out will be hard because AI will come to the same conclusion over and over again. You know what I'm saying? It'll do an analysis of what's currently out there and therefore just produce something that works for that. So artists will have to come in and then like come up with something totally weird in order to actually stand out. That'll be the skill, is actually coming up with stuff that catches attention, which is the hard thing right now. So thank you, Uncle Sean, for that K-shaped AI K-shaped economy. Probably not the best name, but I think the analogy of like 20% of your current job skills will be 10x more productive enhanced by AI.
Right. Right.
80% will be automated. So you need to double down and focus on what that 20% is going to be and learn how to automate the rest so you can double down on the 20% that really matter and then enhance with AI, because there's not going to be too much of an in between for knowledge work specifically. And that's marketing. I don't think then we're not going back. You
No.
might hate it, but I'm like, well, it's not going backwards. So let's move forward.
No, that'd be like saying you're doing design using cutout pieces of paper again, like they used to do. It's like, what? No, we're
Oh
using a
yeah,
computer.
back when graphic design was like cutting out shapes and circles, and then you actually had to special order your type, which was then printed on a clear plastic paper, and you would set
Yes.
it down on the layout, and then would take a photo ready. Hence, they call it finished designs. They still call it photo ready, or yeah, like
Photo
instead of
ready.
print ready, it's some I've heard people say photo ready.
Oh, wow.
Hmm. back in the days when our book covers were just take a picture of the layout on on a desk with well lit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, things change fast. I've also heard some other analogies of like how long it took for us to have automated, what is it called, elevators. The elevators have been around like 120 years or so. I think it was in
Yeah.
like the late 1800s when we first got our first elevators.
Okay.
and they were manned by people until the 1950s. Like you had to have
Oh,
a
right.
person operating the thing. But it wasn't until the 1970s when people finally became comfortable without having an operator
No
in the elevator
way.
with them. It took a long time for them to be comfortable with it, and they had to figure out how to engineer not the elevator, but how to engineer the experience of it so people felt safe in elevators. You know, with the buttons, putting a phone call, putting an emergency stop button in there, all these like little things had to come over time. And then of course people just became slowly more comfortable with it. And I feel like AI, it was a good analogy that somebody was making for AI. I saw it was some clip on LinkedIn somewhere. I don't remember who it was. But essentially we have to go through that same process with AI right now of making it more comfortable for people to get into. For those who are comfortable with being uncomfortable and just learning right now, it's your advantage because you're going to be ahead of everybody else. So everybody listening to this show is already digging in.
Yep.
But for everybody else, the laggards will only come over once it's like proven and known, and then that by that long, it's probably too late. But start learning now. Last note on a community, I've been talking to a number of individuals, and I keep hearing this over and over again that it's just becoming very difficult to stay up to date with AI.
Yeah.
Would you say that's true?
Just you've heard that it's hard to have, I don't know, a feeling or a grasp that they know everything going on, or it's just they feel uncomfortable with how fast it's being released and they're not utilizing it all. Like, what are they saying?
This is even being said amongst those who it's like their full-time job is keeping track of AI for marketers or whatever. I mean, so it's like people
That's
that
a
are like my
yeah.
peers that are doing this, and I've heard this multiple times now. Like they're like, even I have a hard time keeping up with it.
Wow.
And then of course I've talked to individuals who are like a step down, who are early but still trying to stay up to date. They have their full-time job. And they're like, my gosh, there's just so much stuff, and I feel like FOMO everywhere. Like I should be doing stuff.
Wow. Kind of like you were saying about Cursor, where people are developing entire
Yeah.
apps with, yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, my gosh, I'm falling behind. And I really did feel like I was falling behind on AI code. Now I'm like, we're fine. It's like if I develop a little mini app for me and I actually figure out something useful for it to do, because everything else, I'm like, I have tools for everything. I can't imagine what I would. The things that I want to make are so hard to make that I actually have to hire a developer to do it because I can't. The cursor can't make it. The things that I would actually want to make, or
Yeah.
that I couldn't do with another tool or automate it with some kind of no code tool. So, but yeah, I did feel FOMO over that. But a lot of people are feeling FOMO about all the different things. And I discovered, I'm like, I posted this to LinkedIn just yesterday, but I was like, if you're actually learning and staying up to date with everything, you're not going to fall behind. Double down on the tools you've already committed to, which is probably like ChatGPT and things like Midjourney, like the staple tools. You would get way more out of just spending more time learning how to get more out of that one tool,
Yep.
building custom GPTs, staying up to date with it. When new features launch in the tools you're already using, pay attention to those. Those are probably worth
Exactly.
paying attention to. Some of the features aren't even within ChatGPT, like they dropped operator, still not useful yet. That doesn't matter. But there's a lot of new tools. Like when Canvas came out, it was like fantastic immediately. Like when projects came out for ChatGPT, it took a little bit to figure out like, oh, what is this useful for? But it's a great tool. Like learn how to use those tools. When paying attention to the news, only look for things that actually map to projects you're actually working on.
Mm-hmm.
There's so
Mm-hmm.
many like, oh, what if we could do this now? Some of it's like a theoretical stuff that you're like, do we really need that? Do I need AI video right now? It's like, I don't know, maybe. Are you doing a lot of video work? No, probably not. You
Yeah.
probably don't need that right now.
Right.
What are you currently doing? What are your pain points? What are things that you need solutions to? If none of the AI news is lining up with those things, then it's probably not worth paying attention to.
That's smart.
Or if there's something you're looking for particularly, like I actually have a need for an automated AI design tool that I would love to have, but it's not there, but I'm waiting for it to come. There are actually particular AI things and features that I'm looking for that haven't come that eventually will come. The operator and the Manus, the AI China tool, that is one that I'm watching very carefully because once it is available and it's working and it's affordable and it can actually complete a number of tasks and not just one, but like multiple at the same time, and
Uh-huh.
you can set them on a schedule and they're pretty reliable, that will be a game changer. And I will be here to report on the show when that happens, because that'll be a huge, huge world. But right now, it's in preview. It's beta. So there are certain things I'm looking for. But think about it like that. Like no one's gonna like take off ahead of you because they're 3 weeks early into the tool.
You've heard that stuff where you've heard those quotes about Elon where he can get stuff done in a matter of weeks that took people years just based on his grind. And I feel like people look at all of the AI work that people are involved in, or they see somebody doubling down in one specific area and they feel like, well, I'm into AI, I should be able to do that as well. So we kind of take all these snapshots of people doing incredible things with AI, but we don't realize that they're probably only doubling down in that one area. Like you just said, if you're using ChatGPT, just double down in it and use ChatGPT like no one else, and you'll create FOMO in somebody else. So I think that's really smart to just really get hyper focused on the AI tools that are useful for you now. It's kind of like, man, I really want a drone to film 4K footage, but I'm not in video right now. What's the point of filming 4K footage if I'm not using it for anything? I have just stockpiles of 4K footage on my computer. It's a waste. Don't go messing around with AI models just so that you can have stockpiles of AI knowledge that you won't use. Yeah. That's
I
kind of
feel
how
like
I
I'm
was
seeing
viewing
a
it.
lot of case studies that are lies too, or their particular scenarios without qualified other points of
Mm-hmm.
data. So I keep seeing these and it's usually pretty easy to recognize because they're usually the hucksters that have been doing their huckster thing for a while. Like, oh, I just used TikTok to land 1,000 leads and I've closed them and now I'm making 50,000 a month. Like the same guys are going around and saying all the same crap about AI now. Right. So it just, because of that, because there's some legitimate sources that are actually
Yep.
doing some cool stuff too,
Yep.
it gets kind of mixed into the whole thing, and people are just like, "Oh my gosh, people are crushing it with AI." I'm like, dude, not really, not as much as you would think. Like, I had somebody tell me, "Oh, I saw this company and they automated their whole AI ad marketplace, and now it knows like when to bid and how to raise it and how to find the people, and really like it like quadrupled their cost per acquisition, and they're getting so many more leads." I'm like, yeah, that's probably not true. My BS detector is going off the rails right now.
Uh-huh.
There's just no
Uh-huh.
way. And even if they did, cool. Like that same tech will be duplicated and be available to everybody soon, and then
Yep.
it'll be wash.
Yep.
Like that'll just be an
Yep.
arbitrage for them for now. These things, arbitrage opportunities only last for so long.
Right.
They're cool when you find them. They're not something to feel FOMO about, because most of them are lies. And there's a few where people do something really cool, but it's because they have a particular setup that was opportune for the moment,
Right.
and you can't duplicate that.
Right.
Like, oh, it worked for them because they also have like 200,000 LinkedIn followers. You're saying, do you have 200,000 LinkedIn followers that follow
No.
you? Probably not. There's like all these extra considerations you have to take in
Uh-huh.
mind with that this
Uh-huh.
AI use case just happened to fit in. So FOMO, man, it gets us all. It got me. It's getting you for sure. If you're listening to the show, you're feeling it because so much AI stuff comes out. Almost all of it is not useful. Preview of tomorrow, a
Correct.
lie. Because even the big tech companies are just trying to position themselves as the most innovative, and they're pumping out stuff before it's actually ready for prime time. So that news we broke today, though, around, it's not actually breaking news because they've been talking about it for a few weeks now. But the Google's image generator, actually good, useful, major. I'd say
Uh-huh.
significant improvement from everything else
It
that was
is
out there.
good.
Use that. That's worth looking at. Don't worry about the code stuff. Don't worry about the AI video stuff. The stuff that Sean Puri said about your skills and your job. Start breaking your job down. Start thinking about it. It's not going to change over the next couple of months, but it's going to over the next couple of years. So it's something to start considering now, breaking your job into sections and figuring out which pieces of your job you can do with AI. This is where we're at right now. Those who are listening and thinking about this now, you'll be fine. You're not falling behind.
Yeah. Just keep plugging away every day. Keep using it. Stretch that muscle. Make it happen.